Okay, right now we are getting ready to do the candle stand. So what we have here is 3 pieces of about ½ inch or 7/16 to ½ inch iron bar. And what I'm doing right now, I'm just taking baling wire and tying it off to hold these pieces together for now while I'm working. Just want to get these good and tight, held together. So what we're going to do, we're going to heat it up in the fire from about here down, and we're going to braid these pieces together, make a nice braid, and then we'll start working the feet, bend them out, flare them out, and rounding the ends.
If you've never braided anything before, it's a fairly simple pattern. You start at one side, like say the right piece, and you bend it up and over the middle piece such that it's in the middle now. And then you take the left piece and bend it up and over that new middle piece. And then you go back to the right and bend it up and over the middle, and then back to the left and up and over. It works the same way if you have a 4-legged stand as well. It's just, it's more like braiding, it's more like weaving rather than braiding. And it's a little bit more complicated. I may try to explain it in text. But you could probably take 4 pieces of string to practice with. It's so awesome to be able to work with steel as though it were just a wet noodle. Notice the foot switch I had there to turn my blower on to raise the temperature. And you don't want to get it too hot because the coal will melt through the steel if you don't watch it. So you simply turn the blower off. It's really handy to have a foot switch to control the temperature. It doesn't have to be really hot, just for the bending part.
Okay, you can see the pieces starting to take shape now. Right now, what we're working on is these feet right here. We're just rounding the ends of the iron rod down to point. See, this one's not done yet, and then bending it down.
One thing I found later, it's much easier to do all this fine work before you braid the pieces together. And it's just easier to handle the pieces as individuals rather than having to hold the whole piece to spin it around to round these ends off, or to make the loops for the pot holders that you'll see in a second. It's much easier to go ahead and do all this work ahead of time. Here's one of the loops. This is really handy for holding a little pot plant or a large candle votive. And remember, it's art. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just kind of has to be pretty.
Okay, since last we were gone, we took a steel bracket here and bent it around the top and the base to hold all the pieces together before we were using baling wire to temporarily hold it. I tried barbed wire and didn't like the way that looked. We just have a steel brace with it now, and I've just finished leveling out the arms. Now we're going to make a, go ahead and zoom in at the top. Now we're going to make a little hook up here, a little hanging hook to hang a candle or an ornament or whatever we want to hang from the top of it. There, you just want this hook to be as close to the center point as possible, so when you hang anything that's heavy possibly on it, it'll balance out evenly. That's it. You just have to brush it off and put a finish coat of paint on it.
You can experiment with all kinds of different shapes. Some of mine actually stab into the ground. Some of them have 4-leg bases, again where I did the weave instead of the braid. And you can experiment with different hooks, and on some you'll see in a minute that I did a heart shape thing in the middle rather than the hook. Once you get together enough pieces, different kinds of things, you're ready to do a show and start trying to sell some of the stuff. One thing I noticed at these little craft shows, less expensive stuff sells much faster, so $25 and down is a good price range to keep your stuff.